everybody, and welcome back to the MetaTailor YouTube channel. Today we're going to be jumping into Substance Painter because sometimes you want a little bit more control of what your textures and your clothes look like. So what we'll be doing today is we'll be taking clothes out of the MetaTailor marketplace, exporting them out, cleaning them up just a very little bit in Maya, and then bringing them into Substance Painter where we can change their mattes, change their colors, their textures, whatever we need from Substance Painter, and then re-export those out and bring them back into MetaTailor. So make sure you like and subscribe down below to see videos like this one and other videos in the future. And let's go ahead and get our character dressed and change out some of those clothes. All right, here we are in MetaTailor. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit new project and call this one Substance. This is just a placeholder project. I'm not gonna keep this project, I'll delete it at the end of it. This is just to pull some assets out of our marketplace. So let's go ahead and hop over to our marketplace, and I'm gonna look for clothing, category, shirt. The first thing I wanna make is kind of like a MetaTailor branded shirt. So that's what I'm aiming for. So I'm gonna scroll down, find one that's a little less bloody than some of these zombie clothings. And this construction shirt, look at this. I like this one right here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit download and put this one on our character and take a quick peek at it. But I think this is the one I'm gonna go with. This shirt is created by MetaTailor, so it is available to all of our pro users if you wanted to follow along. So construction, t-shirt. The tools have some settings. If I wanted to, I could change the saturation and the hue and make my own colors right here. But for now, that's not what I wanna do. I want to be able to change this, and like I said, I want to add a logo. I want to add a design to it, and the way to do that right now is through Substance Painter. So I've got this t-shirt. I want to export this out. The first thing I'm going to do is come up to export right here. I'm going to choose the name. I'm just going to call this our Meta shirt. I'm going to add some color to it. I'm going to add a logo to it. Export. I'm going to send it out as an FBX, a PNG. You can change these options if you want to, but I prefer FBX, PNG. Scale 1 is fine. Scale up to multiplied by 100. That's fine. Clothes, avatar, just go ahead and, if you have avatar clicked, it's not gonna be the end of the world. Otherwise, you could just do just the clothes. I'm gonna go ahead and hit export. Then we're gonna let it think. I'll pause the stream here for a moment while we let it think. And there we have it. Right here, I can open up this. It gave me this folder, Meta Shirt. There's my metashirt.fbx that I can bring into Maya. There are my textures right here. All the textures pulled and pulled, looks like the avatar as well. So we'll just go ahead and jump over to Maya now and get that ready for Substance Painter. Here we are in Maya. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to File, Import. We talked about importing assets and getting them ready for MetaTailor in our most recent live stream. You can find that online. I'll go to my desktop, find that Meta shirt that I was working with, go to Meta shirt right there and import the FBX. Like I said, this one did grab our avatar, so I'll hit F on my keyboard to take a look at everything, and that's a really easy, clean fix. That's why I like to pull it into Maya first, just to be able to delete our avatar and make sure the only thing we have here is our shirt. I'll take a peek in this group. It's just a whole bunch of group nodes, so I can delete all that. And I've got this shirt ready to go as an FBX. It has all its UV maps and everything like that already from MetaTailor, so we'll just go ahead and import this into Substance Painter. Before I do that, I will just quick hit File, Export Selection. I'm gonna bring it right back to that Meta shirt FBX and overwrite that. It's up to you. You can save it as an additional or extra one or a backup file. I'm just going to overwrite it. All right, now let's go ahead and hop over to Substance Painter. Here we are in Substance Painter. All right, let's go ahead and get started prepping our assets. I'm going to go ahead and hit close right here and just do new project. New, Unreal Engine 4, any of these templates, well, Unreal Engine and Blender are kind of the two templates I use. Just find a template that works best for you. It doesn't necessarily matter, because I'm just going to select my file right here. I'm already in my Meta shirt, so I'm going to grab my Meta shirt FBX. Crank up that resolution to 4K. Why not? Normal map format, I'm going to change that to OpenGL. I'm pretty sure my normal maps are OpenGL. Usually they'll tell you when you generate them, but because I pulled them out of the marketplace, I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to try OpenGL. Don't need to import cameras or anything like that. I do want to bring in our normal map. So I'm going to go into our import bake maps, hit add, and grab our normal map right here for our shirt, not our body. And with all that set, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. All right, it brings in our shirt. I don't love the view from my camera, so I will pop up here and just kind of change my environment map from panorama to something like glazed, was that glazed plains? Glazed patio. Crank up the opacity a little bit, crank up the exposure a little bit, bring down the blur. Environment rotation, doesn't really, I want my light right about there. Perfect. I'm going to change my light to be based off the camera. If you want to add a couple shadows, you can. Those shadows are a little bit too deep, so I'm going to bring that down right about there. Camera settings, I just like to crank that up to about 33 millimeters, 35 millimeters to get me like a pretty standard camera that you see in most of the other 3D programs. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with what the camera looks like. Don't need to change much else in there. I need to add my normal maps to this, so I'm going to come down to texture set settings and select normal map. And there's that normal map we imported from the beginning. Perfect. It has applied that for us. We can see that kind of built in there. Now let's go up and hit this croissant, which will allow us to bake the rest of our textures and get this shirt ready to take some of those materials. So right off the bat, output size, I'm going to change that to about, well, not the dilution. Let's change that. I want to change my output size to 4096. Normal maps, I already have those normal maps, so I can uncheck that box. World space normal, don't need to change anything in there. ID, I'm going to change my ID to file ID and change that to random. Wait, not file ID. I want to do mesh ID polygon. There we go. Mesh ID and change it to random, just random colors. Ambient occlusion, just crank up our secondary arrays. And I like to change the self-occlusion right here to only same mesh name. Curvature, I want to change that to from generate from mesh to generate from normal map. I want it to read the normal map. Position, don't really need to change anything in there. And then our thickness, same thing. Crank up those secondary arrays. Self-occlusion, only same mesh name. This is more for mechanical pieces and stuff like that, so the textures don't get baked a little bit weird. I just like to do it. That's why I just do it in case anything goes wrong. I know I'm kind of making sure the textures are baked per mesh. This is only one mesh, so it really should not matter. All right, then we'll go ahead and hit bake selected texture. Sometimes this takes a little bit. Sometimes it goes a little quickly. You can see there's this weird little squiggle on the chest. That just came from the normal map. That has nothing to do with Substance Painter. You can see it there as well. Whoever created this shirt I believe was just pulled from Sketchfab or something like that, and we're using a Creative Commons license. It's available to pro users. You can see that. It's got that weird squiggle. Let's just ignore that. That's just normal assets. Other assets you grab won't have that. All right, this shirt is ready to go. We're ready to add textures to this. We can see we have a whole bunch of simple textures over here. We've got a whole bunch of smart textures over here. I'm going to start with my materials and just type in like the word fabric. Find a type of fabric. You can see we've got a whole bunch of them. We've got nylon, linen, lace. I can drop linen on here and kind of show you what linen looks like. I love a good linen shirt. The weave is really chunky. This is not quite giving a linen weave, and that's based on the tiling over here on the right. You can see there's this tiling option. I can dial that up and make that a little bit thinner. That might be a little too thin. So for linen, you'd probably want to find a happy medium, somewhere around there, I'd say. But we don't want a linen shirt. So I'm going to go back over to my layers, and I'm just going to delete that fabric linen. I just wanted to show you that tiling. Instead, I did see fabric cotton jersey. That's more often the actual texture that a lot of these t-shirts with logos and branding come with, is that kind of cotton jersey texture. I love that texture. Physically, on my body, not the look of it. Because we have to edit it. Look, it once again has that really, really chunky weave, so we want to dial our tiling up. Right now it's set to 1. Let's kind of aim for like a 6. Let's put a solid 6 in there. That's pretty good. Zoom in, you can kind of see some of that threading. Zoom out, it's pretty much all the same thing. This peach color, that's a neat color. Don't love that color though. I'm going to come down to where my fabric color is right here. And I'm just going to change that to maybe like a heather gray. So I'm going to kind of pull that up into the brownish range. Right about there. And just kind of reach into that gray a little bit. That's maybe too brown. Maybe a little bit more gray. Maybe a little lighter. That's better. Perfect. All right, I'm going to close out of this fabric right here. And you can see you've got the different options. You've got your smart materials. Smart materials are like a collection of different materials and edge scratches and stuff like that to kind of give you an overall like deeper, richer texture. You can see there's like a bronze armor, brass statue. You come in here, some of these, if they load, they've already got little maps or scratches on them. I don't necessarily want that. Here we can see we have different types of rust and edges. We can just throw one on for fun. Like, ooh, what's crumples? Does this like kind of give us the crumpled? Yeah, it kind of gives us more of a crumpled looking shirt. And I can go to this crumple right here. You can see the balance, contrast. Oh, there's the tiling. I can make that a little bit more crumpled, but now it's getting maybe tiled too much. So not exactly what I'm looking for. I just wanted to show you that those were some options, some masking options and stuff like that. If you wanted to create something like a Leatherman jacket, you could separate the leather sleeves from the cotton bottom and use different substance painting tools like that in there. But all I really want to do, I wanted to add that branding and bring that branding in. So what I'm going to do, I've added a texture, I've added a color. Let's go ahead and go to our materials. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to import an asset. I'm going to go to File, Import Resources, Add a Resource, and I have on my desktop I've got some branding. So I'm going to grab just our MetaTailor PNG right here. I'm going to add one more. I saw another cool one in there. It's going to be this. That is a JPEG, this PNG right here. One for the front, one for the back. Those two, they're undefined. I'm going to call these textures so I know where to find them. Import, and boom, those are those two textures. That one's black on black. We might not see that one. That was my fault. Maybe I'll go ahead and grab a white one. Something I didn't think about when I was first grabbing that. Let's go ahead and spin this around though. Remember, we wanted a nice big MetaTailor logo on this shirt. I can kind of aim for in the middle right here, just dragging this texture over. What do you want to make? You want to make it a mask? I want to make it the base color. I want this color printed on the shirt. You can move it around. There it is, scale. A little bit bigger right there on the back. Nice big MetaTailor logo. Spin around to the front. I can pull this one in, but as you can see, base color, not as legible. So I'm going to delete that one. And let's just try one more time. File, Import Resources. Do I have a white version of that? Add Resources. MetaTailor name in black. Yes, MetaTailor in white. Bright PNG. Awesome. Open. Let it sit for a second. Just kind of read that. Yep, see it's chugging. All right, call that a texture as well. Import. Perfect. I can bring you over, put you right there on the chest. Base color. Scale you up a little bit. I'm going to rotate you. All right, we made some MetaTailor branded clothing. Now let's go ahead and get ready to export this out. So in order to export, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go to File, Export Textures. It is going to go, not there, I want to take it to my desktop, to that meta shirt. I've got this textures folder, but I'm going to quick create a new folder and call this one our sub-textures for our substance textures. It's thinking. All right. Output templates, list of exports. It's going to create a base, emissive, normal, occlusion. We don't necessarily need all those. So I can click on this t-shirt right here, and it's going to show me which ones it's going to create. So there's color. That's going to be metallic. We don't really have metallic. That one is going to be our normal. We'll save our normal because we created that jersey kind of texture to it. And emissive, it has no emissive. So just these two textures right here. It's a little hard to read, but I'm just guessing by the last names here. That's what it's going to create. And let's go ahead and hit export. All right, it's already done. So let's jump into MetaTailor and see what this looks like. We're back in MetaTailor. We're back on our boy Substance with his construction t-shirt on. All we should technically need to do, we shouldn't need to import anything new. All we should be able to do is go to Tools, go to Color, Close out of Color. And let's first just try right off the bat, instead of Export to Maya, we're going to go Maya. We're going to go to our Meta Shirt, Subtextures, and grab our new texture. Boom, that worked perfectly. In, out, done. Let's go ahead and try our normal map. Perfect. Look at that. So that's how easy it is. You don't even have to re-import the asset. And that's it. That's how you can bring your clothes into a program like Substance Painter and really get those cool little details like logos, decals, anything like that, and really play with it. And there's so much more within MetaTailor and so much more within Substance Painter. You could really customize your outfits and use these two programs in perfect tandem. That's it for today. Once again, make sure you like and subscribe down below to see more videos like Substance Painter or us integrating MetaTailor into other programs. And I'll see you next time. Bye.